that was happening. That kind of looked like maybe that's somebody. Surely not, though. That has to be a turret. The thing is, too, is like I really would like to go back and play Tarkov again. Not really just because like it's a good shooter, because I'm kind of bored when it comes to Tarkov. But it's that I haven't played it in so long that I feel like my tactical sense is suffered quite a lot. Because guys got me to go play Call of Duty after I played it, and then that kind of softened me back up to like the arcadey shooter shit. But like when you get good at like Tarkov, like when I was at the PD or whatever, just the training and stuff that I did in Tarkov made me better than like 90% of the people that were doing stuff at the academy, which was crazy. I was like, hey, this is a long hallway, you know, a very tight, long hallway. Maybe we shouldn't all walk down the hallway together. Send like two guys, secure the hallway, and then we'll come down, you know. No one thought of that. It's crazy. What is that? Is this just a pile of metal out here? I'm more and more getting into this, like, randomly just flying around thing, though. You run into stuff like this, I never would have... I wonder if I can salvage this. I bet I can't, but we'll see. If I could hand salvage this, it'd be crazy. You know how much money is out here?
All systems offline.
Pull the old canopy. I don't even know if the Ursa rover is still down there. Apparently we lost the Aurora, though. So although you can store the Aurora in your Carrack, it doesn't stay there. Which is the same problem we're having with the Polaris. Pretty annoying. Hey, oh, so Saber, tell me what you think about this, because I put a Reddit post out, I put a Spectrum post out. I still have a dude in Reddit that always debates me on, like, everything. I come up with crazy ideas, okay? Don't get me wrong. But, like, I know some of them are stupid, but I'm willing to ask the questions, you know? So, Anvil ground vehicle, right? Um, very slow armored ground vehicle that deploys. It's not a troop transport, but it's an armored pillbox, like World War II, World War One pillboxes. A bunker that you could deploy and store a bunch of ammo and supplies in on the front lines and stuff for people to go and grab. And basically, like, the vehicle, it's a slow moving vehicle, so it's not a transport. But you deploy it, it turns into a fortified bunker, pops up its shield, and then, like, if people deploy bombers or whatever and they start bombing the crap out of your infantry, they can just duck inside of the bunker. And it gives a place where, like, your vehicles and troops can come get more ammo and supplies. And it could secure the airspace around, like, an area for an LZ. So you could put, like, 2 to 4 bunkers down on a planet, and they all have like an anti-air turret, and they're fortified, and you just land your troop transports right in the middle of it. I think it fits into the world. I think like I was thinking about this more and more and more, and I was like, I don't know how CIG hasn't made this yet. It makes perfect sense because like we have building plots and stuff for bases, and if you can't build on someone else's base, you're not going to be able to build a fortification or something. And then if you're attacking somewhere, basically everyone else online is saying they're basically doing survival game logic where if someone's going to attack your base, they're going to go and they're going to rally up 400 guys and they're going to wait for you to be offline and they're going to hit you and steal everything and be gone in 2 seconds. And then everyone's saying like, well, you could just land and secure an area and then build a base and then leave or whatever and then disassemble your base or abandon it or whatever. But I'm just sitting here like building bases and stuff take time. Not every operation that you do you want to spend, hours there. You just want to land and get stuff done. Like if you wanted to mine in a cave, all you'd have to do is land, drop the bunker down, and then they could fly off and you could leave a team there mining and they could use the bunker for defense. If they come under attack, they lock themselves in the bunker and wait for support. Because it's just gonna be like an armored shell. Like it's gonna be a terrapin on the ground that's thick as fuck, and it has an anti-air gun on it, maybe. So like it can kind of defend itself versus the air, and then you just have shoot holes where people can shoot guns out the side. You know? Why can't I take my gun out here? That's crazy. But for me, it's like it even kind of makes sense, like because he also said you can use like a spaceship or whatever. You land your spaceship and use the spaceship to cover. But for me, it's like if you're an attacking force or you're investigating a planet and you don't know it's hostile, do you want to leave your spaceship on the ground and risk a bomber or a fighter or something or an eclipse, taking a shot and just destroying it? Or do you want to like just drop on the ground and pop a bunker down? And then like ships have huge signatures which people can see from thousands of miles away, whereas like a ground vehicle is very small signature that you can just disappear. And like these armored like pillboxes, you could drop them off in like the middle of a hunting field and use them as a hunting area. You could have them as like if they ever added something like Starship Troopers with the bug swarms, you could just have them as like a front line, like shooting out of the bunker with your dudes kind of thing. And I like the reason I started thinking about this too is because I was thinking about StarCraft, and I was like, I really miss StarCraft where you put the Marines inside the bunker and then they're like holding back the Zerg swarm, you know. And I was looking at like all of the ground vehicles that we have, and it's like you have your infantry in a troop transport and the dude on the turret shooting everything and everyone's just sitting there. Where you could have like a bunker where dudes can actually shoot outside and like have some fun. You did what? You like shot out of a bunker? Yeah. I mean, dropping people off, I think, is something that no one really does because, like, realistically, in the future, we're gonna have two options, like, well, maybe three options. If we do these missions, you're either gonna have to have a ship that you can drop and land yourself outside of range of these bunkers, and then a ground vehicle and drive all the way across to these bunkers and do them, and then drive all the way back to your ship, or you're gonna have to have um, a fleet of ships that can come in, or at least one guy that knows how to come in and destroy all the defenses and turrets. Or you're going to have drop ships that can come in and drop off dudes and take off. It's like no one teams up right now, which is kind of the problem in general. Yeah. But I'm not even saying like I don't even think that you have to I don't even think that you have to set and give air cover to people when they're on the bunker necessarily. It's more or less like you just have to get them on the ground. Like as much as I would hate to say it, like you got these guys that want to be fighter pilots the whole time and fly their fighters all day. But realistically, like, unless you're looking for conflict all the time, like those should be tactical tools. They shouldn't be something that's like, oh, there's enemy air support coming in. Let's send in a fighter, or let's just send our fighter in to like fly over this area for no reason. It's I just kind of wonder, like, to me, it seems much more reasonable to have, if let's say that I had an org with 200 people in it, is it reasonable for me to think that like we should have 200 people flying their own ships all the time with like 200 fighters and 200, refuelers and stuff, flying them all the time and having to keep all of them refueled and everything else? Or could you have 200 people in one ship and then just transport them to the ground and let them do FPS and stuff? Or even then, just like have 200 people flying their own ship and then they get shot down and then they get on the big ship and you can still transport them around. Like, there's people that have like groups of like 10 fighters and they just want to fly their fighter all day, but it's like you're going to need transport, you need fuel, you need repair, you need ammo, you need transport, you need protection when your ships are landed on the ground. It's just craziness.
Quantum drive is now on.
See, I think stuff like that makes more sense. Like, if you have like a huge navy fighting a huge navy or something, I'm perfectly fine with like having fighters and stuff, like a big swarm of fighters kill each other and like attack each other and attack. If you're attacking a javelin or something, you need a bunch of fighters. I get that. But like I think people underestimate ground vehicles a whole lot. They got a lower signature, they still have a lot of firepower, they can do stuff on the ground, they can get through trees. Like your fighter
Quantum
jets
drive
should
is
be
now
more
on.
situational. Like in our fleet right now, um I was wanting 6 arrows just for like air support on the ground. And then I'm slowly transitioning to, okay, maybe we need a couple of stealth fighters or something. So we got like 6 arrows and 2 sabers, and then like potentially 2 gladiators and 2 eclipses or whatever. And that gives you strike packages. It's not like we're not going to go and send in 16 fighters and try to like pick a fight with somebody. You pick a package, you send them in, and you take a pop shot. The boxes is a big one too. Like, I'm gonna try and earn the Centurions in game, but I would be tempted to buy them. I would be tempted. But I'm gonna try and earn them in game. I'm gonna use Ursa Rovers until we can get Centurions and stuff. But like when the base building vehicles come in, I'm buying base building vehicles. I'm gonna buy Titan suits when they come in if I can. At least 2 Titan suits, at least 2 base building vehicles. And I want the large base building vehicle for sure. Centurion's a strong thing. I'm a little split on the Centurion and the missile launcher thing because I've never used them. So like um, I don't know how effective the Centurion is versus the other one, the missile one or whatever. But for me in game, I want to focus more on missiles. Like when blueprints come in, I want blueprints for the railgun. I want blueprints for the missile launcher for ground troops. I want blueprints for the best missiles that we can possibly get, the missiles and torpedoes. And then there shouldn't be any gun-to-gun combat going on until the missiles are gone. And we shouldn't be fighting that often, so we should be able to make money to shoot the missiles. Hopefully. Yeah. Perseus will be a good ship as well. I think the Perseus is a I think the Perseus is a escort destroyer. Personally, I didn't even know there was a base or whatever over here.
Landing gear deployed.
See, my question is with the ballista and stuff is how are you reloading those? Because like we're supposed to have like this is the thought that's been coming across my mind because I wanted 2 Vulcans to like go and repair and refuel and rearm things, and I was like, it makes sense to have Vulcans to for ground vehicles because then you could just send the Vulcan in to repair your ground vehicle. Otherwise, you're gonna have to try and tow it back to the ship. But like, I don't even know if a Vulcan can carry a size 7 torpedo. You know, and you're gonna be flying ships into a combat zone to put size 7 torpedoes on stuff. Like you're gonna need like some sort of transport truck that keeps the torpedoes on it. Good to go. Why is this such a pain to land? Like you can't be flying Hercules into a battlefield just to drop torpedoes off for a ballista.
All systems offline.
But I'm also more tempted to use like if the missile shooting version is effective, I would be more tempted to use the missile shooting one than the Centurion one. And that is because it shoots size 7 torpedoes. Because like if someone brings a hammerhead or an Idris or something down on the ground and you have Centurions or whatever, the one with the guns, like they're big guns, but like I don't think you're winning unless you have a bunch of them. Like you need like a hammerhead has what like 8 turrets or 6 turrets or something. You're gonna need like 4 to 6 of those things shooting back at it, and then even then the hammerhead has torpedoes or missiles or whatever it could shoot at you. So it's like you know you get like the missile ones, they just shoot off a volley of size 7 torps. Pow pow, man. Granted, hammerheads can shoot down torpedoes, but it's besides the point. Yeah, this one still has the gear in it. I'm sure it can. I just like, are you gonna trust it to do that every time though? Like my problem is already that I have a hard enough time finding people that I can trust to do certain tasks in games, you know? Like if I'm in a spaceship and I'm like flying it, I'm a pilot. Like the other day, I snuck on someone's spaceship while they were doing some shit at Grimhex. And he had a Hornet guarding him outside, right? And I was like, okay, you know, no big deal. And I snuck on, easy peasy, we're good. And then I went and flew a reclaimer to Grimhex right after that, and someone tried to sneak on my ship. And I was like in F4 mode, just looking around, and I saw the little white speck of dust like floating, and I was like, that's a dude, and I squashed his ass. If I had anyone else as a pilot, they would have been fucking around, and someone would have snuck on the ship and killed everybody. It happens every single game. It's not even that, like, they just be sitting there and they just don't see it. Like, how can I EVA through 6 people and not be seen, you know? Ooh, that was rough. But it's kind of like the tanks and stuff in the game. Like, I have very little interest in the tanks. I don't recall being this close to wherever I was going, but like, I thought I said Pickers Field was over here. Biggest loss meaning like someone stole something from you?
Engines offline.
The fuck is this place? I'm telling you, the dragonfly's growing on me, you know. It's growing on me a little bit. Getting used to it. It doesn't seem too bad. I mean, the P8s are kind of... I've been looking for railguns and stuff for a long... What the fuck? I don't have a tractor beam. Is this a physical item? Surely those are decoration. Oh, you like Armor Core? And see what I named the new Carrick? White Glint, my friend. White Glint. Yeah, living out of the ship is actually pretty fun. I lived out of a ship for, I don't know. I mean, it was over a month. It might have been like a couple of months, but I lived out of a Carrick on Daymar, and I lived out of Jumptown after the Jumptown event. I had the GrieferNet guys trying to hunt me down, so I decided to just like chill and hang out. What the hell is this place? Like, this is the stuff I'm talking about. Like, people could just take this over. Whatever this is, you could just take this base over right here. Nothing's here. Take it over. Use it as a base. We need people. We need guards. We got guard towers right here. We got people on the guard towers. We got people here. And there's a landing pad right there. You just bring people in, drop their cargo off here. Boom. We provide protection. You know, you sell the goods. They come in, they pick the shit up, and then they take it off again. Boom. Cake. I would love to do some stuff like that. I just don't have the people to do it, you know? It's like a salvage operation. You just have vultures coming and dropping boxes off. You're the middleman. Looks like a refinery or something, though. I don't know what's going on here. I don't see any loot boxes or anything. Or it's a power plant, maybe? A weird-ass tree. Be cool if there's a door to, like, get inside, though. I would really like to live out of Jumptown, though. Collect sniper rifles and shit out there, like I was doing. It'd be cool. These look like those explosive containers. I think it's still decor, though. Yeah, this would be a cool little... I mean, this is right next to Picker's Field. We were literally right next to Picker's Field. You could just use this as a base and farm Picker's Field out of it. Also, Star Citizen's animations, as cool as you want them to be, they're going to get you fucking killed in this game. Their animations are fucking crazy. It takes you 15 years to get off the ground when you're shooting. I died from a fight because I was prone, trying to stay small, and I engaged in the fight, and then I tried to get up, and my dude took 15 years, and he was dead before I could even stand. You know? Let me combat roll or something. That looks like a loot box, but I guess this place just isn't built yet. But you can't tell me that you couldn't use this as a base. Like, Picker's Field is right next to this somewhere. It said like 800 meters or something. I might have to go look for it. But like this is the stuff that I'm talking about. Though. You can get a Valkyrie, load up a bunch of Dragonflies or whatever, or Hercules, come down here, land, unload all the vehicles here, and then just have people come on and off throughout the day and like come over here and we use it as a base. No biggie. That's a hell of a hiding spot. What the fuck? I don't know if I can't crawl under there because my bag's too big or what, but like if you could crawl under that, that'd be a hell of a hiding spot. That's what didn't make any sense to me with this patch is because like people have been talking about building bases and base building forever, and like this patch they fixed like you're able to log off and on planets like very consistently now compared to the past, and then like nobody is claiming territory, you know? Crazy to me. That's why like I see these guys like the streamers online and they have like orgs with 10,000 people and they're like, "Well, there's nothing to do in the game." And it's like you could literally control a whole planet right now if you wanted to, you know? That's the gameplay. Control the whole planet. And then all the new players and stuff that are going there, you're like running security, you're helping them with cargo and stuff. You're fighting pirates because the pirates would start getting involved. Like, be some crazy stuff. Like, what am I supposed to do? I'm a fucking dude on a dragonfly.
Engines online.
Something that really worries me about this game, like a lot of MMOs in the past, like 100 people was like the cap on a lot of MMO guilds, right? So 100 people was hard enough to get going. And then you had the really big guilds would have like 2 or 3 like separate guilds with like 100 people in it, you know? But Star Citizen has 10,000, 40,000 people in some of these orgs. And you're expecting us to compete in PvP with them? That's not fucking happening. There's no way in hell that I'm gonna go fight. Like, I fought mega orgs my whole fucking life in survival games, okay? 5 people versus like 100 people, 5 people versus 200 people. People with alt account spams with one account. It, 10,000 people isn't happening. Like, it's not. Like, you're going to have a group of 5 go up against 1,000 people, 1,000 armed people with spaceships, better spaceships than you, that could respawn. Like, right? Like, it's not. No, it's not happening. And people think they're going to get into a javelin battle with one of these big orgs. No, the big orgs with 10,000 people are going to pull out 16 javelins and kick your ass. I'm saying the only hope for like people trying to slowly grow an org is if they make it extremely punishing for big capital ships that are spacebound to do anything near a planet. Like they shouldn't be able to come down to atmosphere at all without a risk of like seriously crashing. And then all of us small groups are going to have to bunker up on the ground on a planet somewhere and pray to God that a big group doesn't find us. Yeah, but 3 Idris is like an Idris can hold 60 people or something per Idris. Like even the Idris is a bit big. I think for most people, like Perseus to Polaris is about the height that you're gonna get. Idris is a bit like unless the Idris is your capital ship, your main ship, I just don't see it being that functional. You know? I hope that capital ships are kind of like sort of rare. Like I don't mind running like if you're doing a cargo run or something, and they pull out an Idris to fight you, like I wouldn't mind fighting somebody in their Idris, but if there's like 5 Idris there, no, it's not no. Best case we could do with like 5 Idris is try to like somehow sneak on board with the Legionnaire, and even then I don't know if you can because it has PDS turrets. You're gonna have to like stalk it and wait for it to turn off, and then attack it with the Legionnaire. Pretty much any of the big capitals, like I feel like the answer is infantry. Like you have to get on board somehow and deal with it. Like this isn't exactly World War II Navy style where like, we didn't have like helicopters dropping in on ships and boarding parties.
Engines offline.
But like if they let us do that in Star Citizen, I think that's the way. You force them into a hand combat situation. All these dudes that spend all their life on a turret, just gotta run them over. Probably not gonna happen though. Like it would be very difficult. Like even like an Idris, like where are you gonna board an Idris very easily? You'd have to crash a ship into their hangar when they open the door.
Anvil Aerospace. All systems online.
You know?
Takeoff complete.
Like the Kraken is already gonna be like a hard enough ship to defend. Like there's a lot of stuff with the Kraken that worries the shit out of me when the game comes. When Maelstrom comes in, I think the landing pads can break off. When it comes to combat, I feel like any of the big ships are going to be able to split it in half. You know, like if you have explosives and stuff in your cargo bay, it's not going to go very well. Don't know what kind of ships it can hold on top of it. There's just like way too many things. Pickersfield is on the other side. So, closest stuff to Pickersfield is this or this. Let's check out Broken Patch. It's fairly close to Pickersfield. Yeah, that is